Welcome to my November energy update live stream. We are in magical November. Today's the first. We're looking at 11-1-1-1-1. We are already beginning the month with this powerful numerology, and that's really the essence of November. In this energy update, we're going to talk about 11-11, 11-22. We're going to start, of course, with talking about the super full moon on the 5th. And then, of course, we've got Mercury in retrograde. And behind the scenes, we're going to have our crystal of the month and our spirit animal guide with us. So hello to my friends in the chat. It's so lovely to see you. I hope you all had a beautiful Halloween last night, Samhain, and I also hope that you're ready for the big energy that we're going to talk about because like I said, November, it's really a month of ritual and returning to like our spiritual traditions that we know within us will help us create what we want to see in our reality. And this is really just based on knowing ourselves, having that confidence, that trust, and owning our abilities to create what we want to create. That's really what we're doing here too. So, okay, I already need a sip of water. It's already happening. Sorry, guys, hold on. Oh yeah. Tis the season. Tis the season. Can you even see it yet? Well, almost, but for the next 2 months, we're just gonna pretend. So let's jump right in. November 5th, we have our super full moon. This is really gonna just be the brightest moon we've experienced in a long time. And the big takeaway is this is really gonna pull on the subconscious, right? So things will come up big time, things very deep that need to be processed so that you're better at calling in what you need to call in when we talk about those big manifestation days too. Okay, so what are we talking about? This moon is so close to Earth. That's why it's going to be so bright. And it's also going to be known, it's referred to as like the beaver full moon because that's when they begin to build their lodges for winter. So the takeaway for us is this is when we start to really build that metaphorical lodge for the winter solstice, right? So this is where we go within and we think about what we need to do to really process what we need to, but also create support and stability for the winter months. So what do I need to let go of to create that support and stability in my life? That's what you want to think about. That's exactly what the energy of the moon is going to do for us too. I am already enjoying the comments for the mug here too. So we're going to talk about the winter solstice, obviously in the December energy update. That is the other big, powerful manifestation day. And I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do for that in the December energy update. So like I said, to recap, big moon next week, really think about what stability means to you and what you're going to release to create that too. Because really, this is about us knowing we can create the foundation in our own lives. It happens through meeting with inner child. It happens through shadow work. So you've got the power to do this. And when you know yourself, you're going to know what you actually need to manifest. And the universe is going to know what version of you to bring that love to. That's why this is so important to think about that. So that's what we're all going to do on the 5th. Good stuff here too. So before I get into 11-11, let's talk about good old Mercury in retrograde. Okay. So November 9th to the 29th. I'm grateful it ends right before my birthday, but also remember we've got those shadow periods. And really, this is just a time of flow and surrender. We're not afraid of the retrograde. We all know that, right? But really, this is another chance to really think about stability and foundation and what that means to you. And how do you protect that peace? Protecting peace, okay? Big theme in November, but specifically during the retrograde. And so I know we talk about animal totems and we talk about crystals, but there's like color therapy that's very helpful during retrograde. So wearing blues, grays, greens, that's really supportive. I do think purple is a really important color to connect with in November because of the numerology of the month. It's high spiritual attunement and awakening and healing. So just think about those colors because that's going to help you bring in whatever you need to. So maybe you're someone who works with like candles. Those are all really good options for November. So hope that is interesting to you guys with the colors because we're going to kind of move in that direction moving forward with these energy updates. There's certain elementals we may need to focus on more. So we're going to bring this into that now. So going into why we talk about Mercury retrograde, this is going to be your time for like self-care before the winter solstice too. So when we talk about what we're building within ourselves, really it's an important time to reflect on things before you say yes to any certain plans or even before you say no. So you really want to just slow it down. That's really it. It's obviously nothing to be afraid of, but really just like think things through during this time. That's really the guidance for retrograde. You know, we've got a really important energetic gateway we're about to talk about. So that's what you really want to focus on too. You know, we need space to process things and see where we need to redirect our energy. So really, you know, the 9th through the 29th can be the time where maybe that's what you want to do to set yourself up for the new year. Maybe that's how you want to think about it. But with that said, you know, we stay grounded, we reflect, we stay hydrated. That's about it. So let's get into our big event, 11/11. So in general, when we see 11/11, this really is the number for spiritual awakening. This is a huge synchronistic number, and it really does support manifestation. We know with 11 and 22 and 33, these are our master numbers in numerology. And so when we have a sequence, of numbers, this is what creates enough cosmic energy to create what we would call that cosmic alignment or portal or energetic gateway. And so 11/11 to 11/22, key time period to look at. So we can almost take a step back and go, okay, when we see 11/11, maybe on the clock or maybe the day of, that is the number of spiritual awakening. That is about higher awareness. 11/22 is going to reflect higher purpose. So maybe 11/11, we awaken to what that is. But on 11/22, you ask yourself, well, what am I going to do about it? How am I going to create and embody what I'm here to embody? And it's really about 11/22. I would say this: the focus is more on like using your gifts and abilities to better humanity. That's what you want to think about. So that's why this is such a sacred time period too. So I'm just going to take a sip here. Someone again. Do I Atlas your friends from the Pleiades? Every time someone mentions me being from the Pleiades, I should take a shot of something. It's going to just be some water for now. Okay. So we're going to keep it on the topic of the actual energy update here. But, you know, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. So connection to source will be very clear on 11/11. You might find your intuition is much more sharper. That's why 11/11 is the key day to go outside, get those source light codes pretty strong in the morning. They're there all day. Just intend to receive them. And what you're going to do is either meditate. You know, you can do my core essence exercise on my YouTube channel where you can create the space through the heart center to clear the energy and then call in higher self in. That's how you know you're actually talking to your higher self. It's like, it's a very old video of mine, but it works. It's the technique. Okay. So other things that you can do on 11/11 when you go outside, well, you know, do the core essence exercise out in nature because, well, you might notice some of these animal totems, some of these guides might show up for you. So that's what you really want to do too. Okay, a couple of things here too. So 11/11, naturally on that day, we might answer a deeper call to go within. Why? Going to get a lot of messages. So during this gateway time, why we call this magical, you know, November, why I call it that is it's really a month of messages. So whatever you need clarity on, whatever you need to ask higher self, this is the time to do it. I did see a good question here about does 11/11 conflict with influence around the retrograde? No, I wouldn't say it does. No, you can still manifest during this time. Don't, I say if anything, the retrograde might even help it because I think what's going to be happening is you're going to kind of think about things way deeper from a different perspective. So with the direction Mercury's going, you know, this might even help with your processing even more. We've had retrogrades when it's been like, you know, the Lion's Gate and certain events like that. And so really it's more about having the time to slow down so you can still go in. on 11/11 and do whatever manifestation ritual you want to do. But that's a really important question and thing to think about as well. I see a comment here about the raccoons. I've never gotten a better response or as much of a response for an animal totem than the raccoon. You guys love raccoon energy. Sorry, I'm looking at some of these comments. You know what? Create the imaginable. My Pleiadian's coming out big time. Well, that's actually a really good thing to mention about the Pleiades because Halloween Samhain really occurs when we are most connected to the Pleiades. So I think that's like behind the scenes of what's going on here with this energy update. So a few more things that we're going to talk about before we go into 11/22 specifically. So on 11/11, that's the day for your sacred rituals. So whether you like to write exactly what you want to write, what you want to call into your life on a list and go outside and burn it, that's how I like to do certain manifestation techniques. Be as specific as possible. So don't just say abundance. Say what you want an abundance of, whether it be abundance of health, abundance of peace, joy in your life, abundance of money, whatever you're calling in, be very specific with the universe. Also, just remember too, like say these things out loud. Really, what we speak, into creation, that is going to echo through sound, through vibration, and carry around too. So maybe you just say some really beautiful affirmations out loud. Whatever you want to do on that day, the energy's there. It's going to support what you want to create. I'm seeing some guesses for the totem. I think, here's what I think. Maybe some of you know what the totem is, but I know no one can guess the crystal yet. Okay. So we're going to get to that really soon now. Now you've hyped me because I want to see if any of you have guessed that. So let me see if you guys have any other questions about that. So really think of the time, think of November as high synchronicity time. So why you really want to go within, especially during this retrograde time too, is ask the universe certain questions because you're going to get a lot of messages. Now the animal totem is that will give it away. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone. I want a little bit of suspense. Let's have a little bit of excitement today too. It's not Labradorite. We did do that one. But you're onto something there. So a few more things here too. So, what if on 11/11, when we talk again about what we need to specify, say you want like optimal nervous system health, go to whatever's going on in your life, be very specific, but also the big thing with manifesting, own it, right? It's already mine. That's the energy of manifesting, okay? But also we work on ourselves. So come from the heart center, okay? Take really good care of yourself. Really focus on self-love, your practice, what's coming up for you when the subconscious starts showing you some stuff on the 5th. Just start there, process 11/11, go into whatever manifestation ritual you're going to with really knowing yourself. That's who the universe wants to talk to. It wants to talk to your authentic self. So that's what you want to think about when you're manifesting. Okay. So a few more things here too. 11/11 and 22. This is the opportunity to receive those pure source light codes, right? And so when I talked about 11/22, that's the day to really think about like, what am I doing to better humanity? How are my gifts going to better humanity? Now, this can be, your spiritual gifts, right? This can be, say you're a healer, say, or, your therapist, like whatever you're doing, let it be specific to the goodness you want to bring to earth. That's what you want to think about 11/22. So, maybe you go, okay, I'm going to use my gifts to advocate for this. I'm going to use my voice for this on 11/22. Maybe you're just going to be a better person, like at the airport, like you're ready to go. You put your stuff in the box and in a little bucket, and you don't act like it's your first day on earth. You just you just do things, and you're helpful. Sorry, SAS meter's going up. I'm gonna check it right now. 11/22. How can I be a better person? How can I just make things better? Think about that on 11/22. So, a few more things here. On 11/22, we call it a gateway because this, like, it's one of those times where like the spiritual world and the material world have, very thin veil. And so during this time, things will come through very clear for us, whether it's messages, whether it's manifestations. So, on those days, I like to just go, my thing is going out in nature, going out to the redwood trees, hugging them, communicating with them, I telepath with them. I get clear information. I get cleared from them. My crown, my spiritual antenna feels more fine-tuned. That's how I like to recalibrate on those days. So think about those things too. So let's see. Let's see. What are some of these things? Sag on the loose alert, Irma. You know it. So if you guys like to do little ceremonies for yourself or friends, maybe you go outside, have some cacao, open your hearts together. Do it on either of those days. So with that said, we talked about Mercury retrograde. We know we've got this super full moon. It's going to be super bright. We have these super potent days with high level numerology. If you need any more information, I do have a video that on my channel. It's an older video I filmed in Sedona, and it's called what does it mean when you see 1111? Like, that's going to give you more information on numerology. But what do we also know? Today's already 111. We're already working with this energy, okay? So let's jump in now to the crystal of the month. Last minute, does anybody have a prediction? It's very magical. Okay, just going to show you. You guys know what this is? Say hello to Atlantisite. Atlantisite. Okay, whoever said kryptonite, I wish. That'd be so cool. Okay, give you guys a minute. Now, what you're looking at is my beloved serpentine and stitchite. Stitchtite, I think is how you say it. Yes. So this crystal has the properties of both crystals within them. But what's even cooler is that this is your direct activation of heart and crown. This links them together. So you will be speaking from your heart. You will be receiving information and acting from the heart center. Because really, if you're not located in the heart, I don't think anything you do matters. Sorry, I'm just going to say it. Like, really, do you want to manifest? Well, are you located from your heart center? Oh, you're bringing humanity some new technology. Is it heart-centered? That's the question. You know what the question warriors ask themselves when they're looking at what path to take in life? Does it have heart? This crystal asks that question. And that is why, sorry, it's our crystal. I said sorry because can you see this? Can you see my little cobra snake holder? Sorry that the angle. Okay, there we go. How fun, how fun, how fun. Serpentine cobras. I'm going to show you one more. One more. Okay, give it a second. Okay, so pretty cool, right? Here. Okay, now Atlantisite. Sometimes you'll see it spelled like Atlantisite or Atlantisite, and it's exactly what it sounds like. This is connected to Atlantis. It said working with this crystal helps you continue whatever you were doing in Atlantis, whatever you were working on, provided, of course, that it's heart-centered. I want to say that. So if you flooded it, I don't know. But if you were there bringing in that love, well, you know what this is going to do? It's going to activate past life memories. Now, because of the power and connection it holds to Atlantis, it also holds the energy, it's said, of just really accessing other ancient civilizations. And this tracks to me because serpentine is used to track history of the earth, literal earth changes. So serpentine represents the connection to all earth energies, right? And if we remember serpentine, it is a stone of evolution. It clears negative energy, but also stitchtite protects the heart from negative energetic siphoning too, and negative energy. So you got some energetic protection in this piece too. Today marks the very day after Atlantis fell. Is that true? Fluffy pancake. I'm not gonna. Is that true? Atlantisite you can get at several different crystal shops. I got mine off of Etsy. It was a little bit hard for me to find. But it's interesting because it's not that heavy of a stone. So usually when I'm looking for crystals, if they're too light, it makes me feel like they're fake. But serpentine isn't usually that heavy of a stone. So that's what's really cool with it. So basically, it's going to clear all the energy centers, but it does pull energy into the heart. So that's why it's really cool. So heart, crown connection really it's going to strengthen your meditations. I think this is perfect for 11/11 and 11/22. Now, because we're talking about manifestation, you can also bring in your big manifestation crystals. Quartz is going to amplify what you're putting out there, but then we've got the malachite, we've got the citrine. So there's a lot to work with here too. So a few things. You said it came from Bashar. Well, I love Bashar's work. So I think that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. And also, we're talking about it today. I think that's pretty synchronistic. What did we talk about 111 and the month of November? Synchronicity. So thank you for contributing that. A few more things here together. So earth energies from serpentine, but really coming from the heart. That is the big part of Atlanticide as well. It just brings peace into your environment, into anything you're doing. So it's cool because it's activating, it's awakening, but it's peaceful, it's loving, and it reminds us to act from empathy. And what did I really just kind of mention? That this is really about doing everything from the heart. So now you've got a crystal that not only gives us energetic protection and activates past life memories, but it's really bringing in us acting from this space. So think about it too, it's like you're manifesting from the heart. That's why this is so powerful. I'm glad that you guys are finding this very interesting. Crystal choice. Yeah, I'm going to do it. December. I'm not sure if you guys can guess that one either. Okay. So we're gonna play, but it's gonna be really cool. So like I said, if you need more compassion and understanding in a situation, maybe you don't know how to take a certain course of action, meditate on it with Atlanticite. That's going to really help you make a choice that you can trust. I would even do the core essence exercise that I just mentioned. Think about it, ask your higher self, have this with you. You're going to get a lot more messages. Messages is a big theme this month. So whether it's in the form of numbers and synchronicity, you're going to see a lot this month, but it can also be in clairaudience. It can also be in your dreams. Really pay attention to your dreams this month. So a few more things that we're going to talk about too. So accessing your information, your skills from Atlantis, really cool stuff. But this is also about accessing even more from your energy centers, more from the crown, more from the heart. So maybe even finding out really what that divine purpose is, whether you do it on 11/22 or before, that's what it's going to support here too. It's also about like your own self-connection and inner growth. Serpentine is a really powerful stone for knowing yourself and for evolving and growth. So you're going to get this with more of a like loving support. So say you want to accelerate some sort of breakthrough or information about yourselves. You want a sudden life change, right? Maybe you would look at Moldavite. Well, if you want one where it comes at a like more slower pace, like an unraveling, like a snake shedding its skin, I would say serpentine. And if you want that with a little bit more love, I would say Atlanticite, because stitchtite itself is a variation of serpentine. So fun stuff with that, right? In the past and in homeopathy, I believe this helps heal muscle tissue. So, maybe you try it out. Maybe you just hold this in your hand if you're experiencing any type of discomfort, and see if that brings in that physical relaxation for you, because it's going to do that spiritually, energetically. It's going to be releasing a lot of energetic debris for you too. Maybe you're holding on to some energetic debris from Atlantis, from whatever your role is, and this is going to help you release that. So very, very, very mystical thing we got going on here too. So I don't know what else there's to say about this, because there's so much to say. And the reason is this is an activator. So when you work with it, you're probably going to have more insights about it than I think I can even share today, because it's going to be really personal to you. Think about this as something entering your field, clearing you, bringing you awareness, and then showing you where you need to grow. This would really be a good time to do that. If we talk about decision making, maybe we're not going to make a huge choice. Like, they say, okay, it's retrograde, right? Maybe that's not when you buy your new phone or sign a contract for something, right? We know that, we hear about that, unless that's what you need to do, then you approach it with no fear. But maybe this crystal will kind of help you just bring that clarity and then take the actions you need to without any sort of like fear or superstition. That's why this is really going to support us too. So a few more things here. It is about emotional awareness, heart expansion, spiritual expansion, And really, these are the things that we want to come forward after a super full moon, what we process during a retrograde. And then, of course, we use that self-knowledge to even be better healers and manifestors and creators on 11/11 and 11/22. Are we now ready for the animal totem? So good stuff here. Good stuff. Any guesses? Any guesses here on the animal totem? Let me have some of my Sagittarius power. Hold on. Okay. Yeti. Our animal totem for November is the crow. I was going to say earlier, bringer of messengers, but then I knew you guys would know that it's the birds. So we are going to work with the crow. And the crow is so powerful because it represents magic, creation, manifesting, but also like what I want you to think about with the crow is this. It's very cultural specific. So in most native cultures, it brings us good news. It cleanses us. It brings in the positive. It's the rebirth after the death and the transformation. Historically, in some European traditions, it was seen as this like bad omen and bringer of bad news. And so you can see people's different perspectives on it. When I see the crow, that is the divine feminine speaking to me. I'm getting a message from the divine feminine. Why? Well, let's talk about, well, I have my reasons. I got my reasons. But think about the color of the crow, that black. That is the color of creation, right? That is the maternal, the void, the womb that births life. When we see the color black, it actually represents birthing the new. So when I see the crow, that's telling me the new is coming. It's birthing. And I need to pay attention to what I need to release to have the new. Serpentine does that. A lot of the energy this month does that. So what do you guys think about the crow? Yeah, super, super powerful here. So yes, they are symbols of us evolving into the next stage. Said the word messenger a bunch of times. So we know they're messengers. The raven is, I believe, in the crow family, right? And Odin had two. He had his two crows. And a lot of culture, there's so much cultural significance to crows. So yes, they do bring gifts. A few more things to here. They represent past life connections. So does this crystal. Deep spiritual connections as well. For some cultures, it's a message from your ancestors. So they're usually spiritual messengers from the other side. So that's why some people read it as a, you know, kind of like a more negative omen, because there's such important cultural context here with the crow. Absolutely death and rebirth. Massive theme for the crow as well. And, you know, they also represent warnings. Maybe they have to bring you a warning. Maybe they're telling you to pay attention. What are we doing in November? Well, we're paying attention to all the signs, right? We're going to see a lot of synchronicity in November as well. And they're about intelligence too, but also evolving into your full potential. The crow's going to remind you, hey, maybe I need to be doing something else. I deserve to reach my full potential. That's what the crow is showing you. So where are you not doing that? Maybe that's going to come up for you on the 5th when you start processing what you're letting go of, right? Maybe on the 22nd, that's where you get that big epiphany of like, oh my God, I know what I want to do now. I know what my potential is going to look at, right? So let's see here. A few things here too. So strong communication skills is another thing, because they're actually great. We can hear crows. We know they're chatty. When you see the crow, when you see it in any form, TV, in real life, what it's telling you is to really learn to see the magic in your own life. Magical November, that's what we're talking about. Learn to see the magic in your own life and know that you can create what comes next for you. You can manifest, you can birth what you need to give birth to. So very powerful symbology, especially if you're, you know, a creative, whatever it is. Like we are entering now this end of the year where we're going to go within with the winter solstice. We're going to start the new year off very strong with the year of the horse. So if we're coming from the year of the snake, where we are transforming and evolving and shedding our skins, well, we want to go in confidently knowing ourselves and birthing what's next. And we want to birth freedom. That's a big theme in January. So this is when we start to think about these things too. So a few more things here too. It's about being able to be the one in your life who creates your own success, right? You're going to birth your own success. It all comes from you. It's really about owning our power to create and manifest, like power, ownership, getting stuff done, the crow is going to show up when you might need a little boost in that area to really think about this as well. And it's about creating something new for yourself too. Maybe you just don't like where your life's going right now. Maybe you say, hey, I keep trying to manifest this thing and it's not happening. This is where crow medicine comes in. So keep a picture next to you. I think I think it's an obsidian crow that I have as part of some of the totems that I work with too. Really, where you need that information, like crow's going to help you meditate on it. I'm not surprised if you guys are going to hit me up with a lot of crow stories because I know how powerful that raccoon medicine was. So raccoon has kind of been the number one thing you guys have been giving me feedback on. Dolphin was, of course, a huge one. Octopus. See what the crow brings you. It's very powerful. What's interesting about the crow, though, is it's similar to our animal totem of the bear, where it represents that negredo state of alchemy, excuse me. So very powerful material to work with here, right? And then reaching its full potential and success. I'm getting really animated. You can see I'm really excited about this. So that's what we want to talk about. So we mentioned, just kind of wrap this up with the crow here. Death, rebirth, transformation, the messages, your power to create here too. In some contexts, we can also say that's a symbol for duality, light and dark, death, birth. Different systems will look at it in a lot of different ways as it kind of ushering in the sudden change that comes when we see, or what's birthed after that sudden change. That's what you want to look for. There's a lot of nuance with the animal totems. So that's what we want to look for too. In a lot of Native American cultures, they do bring in good fortune. So think about all the good that you can create this month. Think about the good you want to call into your life. Think about living that heart-centered, way of being, and think of what that's going to do for you. I think you're going to attract more crow messages that way too. And what's really cool is they also represent our trickster archetype. They're very clever. They're very cunning. And we can learn so much from the trickster. We know this. We've seen different animal totems that hold that trickster energy too. We've seen the fox and probably a lot more. So crow medicine is going to really show you what you need this month. It's going to show you your potential and what's next. We've got the Atlanticite working for us. And then, we've got the powerful numerology. And that is why it's Magical November. So that really wraps up the energy update. So do you guys have any questions for me before we say goodnight and we watch Game 7? Does anyone have any questions for me? Let's see here. Trickster totem. Yeah, it is very perfect for, a lot of goddesses are associated with the crow. A lot of them work with crow. So that's a really good thing to bring up here too. The crow will show us different parts of existence that we need to embody and pay attention to. It does call us to wholeness, and it's associated with magic. So not surprised that it's very important as a messenger for a lot of just beings. Yeah, that exists here too. Let's see. Crows follow you. Taunting your black cat. Well, black cats are magical. I can do a whole video on that. So you guys, that's it. That's November energy. It's been a pleasure talking to you about my favorite thing, which is, I guess, the number 11 and crystals and all the magic, but most importantly, your potential, your spiritual potential, living from your heart center, and really embodying your power to create. So I'm wishing you guys a beautiful month, and I'll see you for the December update.